Okay,
Tell
so
us.
I'm
Second time
gonna
here.
break the rule. I'm actually gonna show you two.
Okay.
Because one is somewhat familiar and the other is new. So I feel like I'm all about contrast. You know, light and dark, opaque and transparent. There's obviously a reference to the landscape, but it's abstracted. And to me, these are the colors of Santa Fe. So even though it was totally unconscious, I had no conscious intention. When I started to make this painting, this is what happens when I'm here. So, yeah, so I'm pretty happy with it. You know, subtle. I like a lot of subtlety, so even though it looks like there are big swaths of color, if you come in, there's a lot of subtle variation as well. So,
Does it feel different from your other work?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
You have a lot of styles.
push.
I mean, you really push yourself to try new things and have.
I
different
do. I
styles.
sort of don't understand how people can just do the same thing over and over again. Right, that's not for me. So I change up my palette. I, change sizes. And yet it does surprise me, like on my Instagram or whatever, people will say, oh, I knew it was you.
Yeah.
So even though I think it's all very different, there's apparently something, right, that's me that speaks through. You know, certain marks. I love mark making.
Can you
I'm
talk
not
about the
sure.
collage, Patricia? When did you
Yeah.
start using collage?
Gosh, like as soon as I started doing abstract, which was a mistake. Okay, I thought I was taking a watercolor landscape course, and the teacher starts pulling out all these weird, acrylics and inks and talking about abstracts. And I went up to her at the break. I said, I think I'm in the wrong workshop. I thought that, she says, oh yeah, I don't do that anymore. It's so boring. And so, I mean, I struggled mightily. I thought, how do you make something out of nothing? I mean, I just couldn't get it for 3 days, but they told me I would have a breakthrough, and I did, in fact, on day 4, and I just finally switched to the right brain, and I was in some kind of fugue state. But in that, again, right, so she just encouraged us, again, to like make lots of papers. I always make my own collage papers. I don't use things from magazines or whatever. I'm sorry?
What do you use as the base for your collage papers?
All different kinds of things. So this actually was newspaper. And then I used the jelly plate, and I just did some stuff. I'll use tissue paper, just plain. I like brown paper too.
Brown belly paper?
No, even just
Like racks, like
this crap, but it's not too thick. So I do like mixed media. I do like adding, and that if I'm stuck, going to collage can really help. And sometimes even doing that as a start for an under, because I like texture too. So yeah, I would say this is both a bit simplified, which I kind of like. If I think about my other work, yeah, just a little looser, freer. So this one I'm happy with. I feel like this is the only one that's kind of done from this week. Yeah, I struggled. And then, so behind here, I had purchased some of these stretched canvases because they were on a massive sale at Michael's. So I just went back, it was my garbage board, because I can't stand to waste paint. So I just threw stuff on. And then yesterday, I just went in with, again, marks and washes and
that's beautiful.
so this is new and different, and I actually love it.
Yes.
Right, so again, because I said I've got to go more abstract, which to me that's really abstract. And so again, there are some similarities, with the opaque and the transparent and dark and light. And again, even though these look like big shapes, there's a lot of subtle variation within, which I like. So, so I'm happy with that I kind of broke out of my mold. This one does not. No. But it had like, you know, so I had a bunch of paint like on my palette and I just, you know, smushed it on there and, you know, so it's all different, like you can see it underneath if you look. I love scraping in and marks, so, yeah, so I'm happy with that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Very
thanks.
So coming the second time, was there anything new for you or any?
You know, I not to be a Debbie Downer, but
Yeah,
so I came in October and it was the first time I went large.
yeah.
And, you know, with Unstretched Canvas, and I just loved it, and I was very free. I sold 2 paintings, do you remember, while I was here? Like, I just posted on Instagram, and like a surgeon from Boston, she says, I've been stalking you on Instagram, I have to have that painting, you know? So that was very reinforcing. So this felt a little bit more of a struggle, but also I've just been in a little bit of a funk.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so it's just different,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really glad I came and I feel nourished and just a fabulous group of women that really, I'm very happy to have met you and been part of this.
Yeah.
So thanks.